Okay, we will start with Audit LA. Audit, you will have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm here to talk about the 4th of July permit of Scientology. I have been writing. I have been requesting that it not be filled. So far, it doesn't seem like it has been. But I'm here to remind you that a month ago, you did not give a permit, and they still shut down the street for 3 full days. That means they hijacked the street. That means there was no paper signed for indemnification to protect the city. No insurance provided. That's what that means. So the city's gonna have to wait 2 years to see if anyone comes forth with any kind of lawsuit for damages or anything. So now they're coming for another permit. Are you going to give it to them? Do I have to check every single day to see whether or not you give them this permit? Or can you just kind of make a notice? You can email me, my email, to say, no, it's been denied, or publicly, no, it's denied. And are you going to enforce it by putting it to the city attorney? Are you going to fine them? They should be
Thank you,
prosecuted for
Audit. That's
hijacking
time.
the streets.
Next, we have Gigi. Gigi, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know why it took so long for this to click, but as I was looking at the paperwork for when they changed the name of North Berendo to L. Ron Hubbard Way, I kept seeing the name Tony Cardenas. Okay, and I'm just hoping there's not going to be a conflict, and that when we're talking about this, there's no defensive listening and there's open-mindedness that someone's brother could have made a mistake on something or made a bad choice voting a certain way or whatever. I just hope that there's no bias when it comes to this. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you. And next, we have Arthur. 1 moment. I am not seeing Arthur anymore. So we will move on to Georgina McPhee. Georgina, you will have 1 minute. Georgina, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to baffle my mind, wrap my mind around the thought that we have a city street named after a cult leader, a family destroying, child trafficking, criminal enterprise, and we have a street named after the guy who perpetrated the U.S. government with the largest and penetration of the U.S. government was by L. Ron Hubbard and his operatives, and yet we have a street named after him. Is Charles Manson Way going in next to it? I'm wondering what cult leaders are going to be represented next, because I have some suggestions. Maybe Reverend Sun Young Moon Way can be next. Maybe, who's the guy for the FLDS? Oh, he'd be perfect. Let's do a street named after him next.
Georgina,
either that or we
time.
could.
Children's Voices Matter. Go ahead.
Greetings, everyone. Happy Pride for all the LGBTQI+. And I wanted to mention that in Scientology, people are not allowed to express their sexuality. They are not allowed to be gay. They are not allowed to be bisexual. They are not allowed to be transgender or any of those things. In fact, they are labeled as degraded beings, aberrated, out ethics, or down tone. And a lot of them are suicidal and have lost their lives. So I just want to bring that up. The second thing I want to bring up is a review on Yelp about one of the Scientology buildings in which several young ladies almost lost their lives. On 1404 Catalina Street, Los Angeles, Tabitha K. from Studio City, California, gives a 1 star. I was in a fashion show here once. A huge fan fell from the ceiling and almost killed the entire group of models.
That's time. Next, we have Laura FM. Laura, go ahead.
Good morning, board. So I want to echo what the other callers were just saying on all accounts, on the fact that you better not be giving Scientology, a human trafficking, family destroying cult, hiding behind a religious entity while we sit here in California all knowing that Scientology is a fraud, scam organization. You can do something right, Public Works. You can make sure that they never receive a permit whatsoever ever again. They violated multiple permits that you have given them. They've covered up their, addresses or covered up names or altered permits to the police when they were asked for a permit because they were shutting down sidewalks and roads that they didn't have permission to do. So why do you allow them to have any more permits when a month ago they shut down the street for 3 days without your approval? When you said no, they didn't care and they did it anyways. Why does Scientology keep getting away with this? You guys
Thank
keep
you,
getting
Laura.
away. You
That's
allow
time.
it.
President Kang, we have Audit LA. Audit, are you there?
Yes, good morning. Is it still morning? Yes. I want to congratulate everybody that was honored today. But again, like Children's Voices Matter said, it like for people who are talking about Scientology, it kind of hit me really hard. You have a beautiful presentation, everything that the Commissioner Grant said, and everything, and I was in tears. Okay, literally in tears. I'm still fighting tears, and not because that we've come so far in the city with recognizing that we're all created equal. We all have a right to be under the sky and on the grass, like the poem referred to. But I'm thinking of my friend Serge, okay, and Nora, who were in this city during all this fight, okay, for rights. They were put into a gulag prison, okay, and Serge is a child, 12 years old, and Nora I think was 18, 19, for being gay, and in our city, and while this whole thing was going on, okay, and I can't wrap my head around that. And Serge was placed with a pedophile because they don't care. That's how unvaluable his life was. He was molested repeatedly in this gulag here in this city, and we come so often to talk about these inhumane crimes. Okay, and this is during Pride Month. And Nora has spoken here to talk about how she was tortured for 2 years in the gulag just merely for being a lesbian. Okay, it's disgusting. There's so many things that evoke so much emotion on me. So congratulations to the city for having evolved to where we accept, hopefully everybody. But Scientology, still doesn't, that because they can't go away from what their leader says, and they put gays, as like lower than criminals, and you're giving them permits to recruit people into a cult that believes that will put people in prison merely for being gay. You are giving them permits to recruit more people. We're on the right side of history, warning the city, warning you, begging you to stop. We're on the right side of history. You aren't. Now I want to talk about the the repaving. I want L. Ron Hubbard repaved, okay? Because indentured servants, including children, paved that road, and you guys gave that road to them, okay? Not just in name, but with this R permit. And it's not you. I get this was way before you, but it's why do we have a street that was paved by indentured servants? I can see maybe back then you didn't know. The city didn't know. Okay, well, you know now. Okay, there's enough evidence out there. There's enough information out there. You know now.
Thank you,
I've
Audit. That's
requested.
time.
Thank you.
Next, we have Georgina McPhee. Georgina, go ahead. Georgina, are you there?
Yes. I
Go
want
ahead.
to first talk about the minutes. We have repeatedly called out infraction after infraction for all these permits, and yet no record of that is being kept because it's not being included in the minutes. That needs to be addressed. You need to have some sort of measure to say these are the things that have been complained about, these are the things that people are coming to us with, but you don't record that. You don't make any reflection of that whatsoever. And your YouTube channel has everything listed just under LABPW meeting. Well, every one of them has that exact same title. You have thousands of videos that could be potentially accessible by people, but you don't make them accessible by giving them all the same title. It's like going to a card catalog and everything in there is just titled book. I want to talk about the road pavement also. The bricks on L. Ron Hubbard Way need to be pulled up or paved over. They are using those bricks as an excuse to say, oh, but this street's too pretty for cars to park on. Well, I'm sorry. We don't have roads just to be showcase pieces. We have roads for accessibility to the public. That road needs to be repaved and made accessible to that neighborhood. It needs to be opened up for parking. You should put metered parking in there. It'd be a valuable asset to the two major hospitals that are just at the end of that street. The fact that you have a street named after a cult leader is appalling. It needs to get addressed. Please do better. Thank you. I appreciate you and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Georgina. And next, we have Laura FM. Laura, I have not seen you on the virtual. Oh, I see you. Laura, go ahead.
Hi, thanks. So in regards to the minutes, we keep asking, please put something up. You've had multiple people call in regarding revoking Scientology's R permit, which is to bring it back to North Berendo Street. We would like to see that on the minutes. We'd also like for it to be at least an option as a point on the agenda. Why, after years and years, has this not come up? As you say that, we cannot address anything, no board members can address anything to the public, but then do something, because we have been doing this. We've been calling about this over 3 years now, and we need for our cases against Scientology to show whether you guys have the ability to change it or not, that we have been contacting you and that we've been telling you to stop giving them permits. Please make that obvious on the minutes as a one-line sentence. Laura FM called in asking to revoke Scientology's R permit, bring it back to North Berendo Street. Audit LA asked you to stop giving them permits, do not give them the 4th of July permit. Things like this. It's important to people that were born and raised in a long lifetime slave organization of Scientology for you guys to just lift your pinky and do a few typing sentences that show the minutes, that show people who have called in and what they're talking about. It's disrespectful to the public, especially people like ourselves who have been calling for 3 years over Scientology's permits. And we do appreciate that they have slowed down, and we've seen that, but it needs to end fully. You don't just partially stop abusing children or partially stop abusing elderly. You have to completely shut it down, and Public Works has the ability to do that. So that going into the neighborhood councils, they also have the ability to make that change. A neighborhood council, knowing that Scientology is infiltrating their neighborhoods, which is everywhere in Los Angeles, every single city, every single area of Los Angeles is taken over by some form of front group of Scientology. And so for them to have the booklets that we as the children of this cult of Scientology took our time to print out for you guys and for the city to uninfiltrate Scientology from your guys' work. It's hard work that you guys are doing, and Scientology is just infiltrating it, using you guys up, using the taxes, using your permits, and using the neighborhood councils. Literally being on the boards or being at the neighborhood councils meetings solely to find out what the city city needs in each neighborhood so that Scientology can come in with their fake infiltrating groups and their fake ass neighborhood volunteer counselors who want to, quote, come in and clean up the world when they do nothing to clean up the world. All they're doing is literally recruiting people who are cleaning up the city. That is the whole intention of them being connected to any sort of cleanup
Thank you. That's
programs
time.
or any hood neighbor.